Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Starcraft 2, and I have an interesting match here today for you. I'm going to go ahead and bring down the nameplate, whatever. In the top right corner we are going to have Chaos Tech, but this is actually Vocaloid. He's just playing under a different account here, so I will be referring to him as Vocaloid. And in the bottom left corner it says EG's Demuslim. I don't think this is actually Demuslim. The caliber of play just doesn't seem to be there. And for all I'm saying, though, I could be wrong. It may be Demuslim. But because of that, I don't know what else to call him. So it will be Vocaloid versus Demuslim, probably fake. Either way, I'm going to bring up that production tab as well. And we're going to go ahead and go through this game and have some fun with it. It is a older game. I think Vocaloid said it might even be a year old. But he hasn't played in a while. He wanted to send a game over for me to cast, and I was more than willing to do this for him. So we'll get into what that is, I guess, as we go through the game here. Now, one thing I do notice is the wall-off Demuslim does here is, of course, perfect, on par. I don't see any issue with that. You look up here, and Vocaloid doesn't choose to do a wall-off. I don't know if that's just a decision, or, well, obviously it's a decision. Nah. I don't know why he chose to do that over a wall-off. Again, though, wall-offs aren't always necessary, but you can always do it, of course. And I would be expecting to see another supply depot going down very soon. And these are just the kind of hints I think I see that tells me it's probably not Demuslim. A 2.5 minute gas isn't necessarily normal. He's sitting on quite a few minerals. He could be building another supply depot right now instead of storing those minerals. So just little hints here and there that just seem to say this probably isn't the guy you're looking at. And there goes his scout as well. And orbital coming out as well. And go over to Vocaloid, and again, mirroring pretty spot on. Both of them getting marine, both of them getting orbital. Supply depots coming up. There's the other one, in fact. And might be moving out with that single marine. He is going to catch the SCV there of Demuslim. That's going to be pretty easily beat off. This is also a Masters League game, by the way. I know Vocaloid is Masters, and that is why I'm assuming it's not the real Demuslim, because he should be higher than Masters. So, again, though, I mean, this is something you can do in StarCraft 2 if you want. You can name yourself after the pros. So, I don't know why you'd want to do that. You think it's cool, I guess. And another expansion coming down for Demuslim here. Obviously going to eventually lift that and land it inside of the natural. And a factory coming down for Chaos Tech. Might be doing some sort of 1-1-1. However, he's building a Hellion. So probably going to get some Hellion harass going on here. Have to see if he's going to build a reactor or anything like that, or if he's just going to leave these buildings expansionless. Both players actually currently running with expansionless barracks. And unfortunately, Demuslim's is just, there we go. I was going to say, he's sitting on money, the barracks isn't doing anything, you should add the add-on on. Add-on? A few Marines making their way across the map for Chaos Tech. Going to go cause a little bit of trouble if they can. This is not a wall-off of Marines. They're going to easily break through that, especially with the help of the Hellion. In fact, the nice little move there with the Hellion to line him up on the Marines. And not going to be able to sneak in today. The supply depots are, of course, raised. A nice factory swap there. We're going to have tanks on the field very soon. I would expect to see Siege being researched any second now. Nice repair coming in there by Demuslim. However, he runs away. And in that point, the supply depot is probably going to go down. Indeed, it does. And here come the Hellions rolling right in. Will they go straight for the SCVs? Oh, quite a few coming into attack. Not good for Demuslim here. Starting to look pretty bad. Marines need to micro a little better. Unfortunately, getting a lot of face time with the SCVs there. But the tank is making things sour for this little incursion. The Hellion could be doing a little pot shots there. Getting a little better. Still keeping away from that tank. Pretty easy to do that. You're much faster than tank. But at this time, oh, a second Hellion does come in. So continuing this harassment, that Marine is toasty. Where'd that tank go? The tank is over there coming in. It's Viking might even land as he's kind of low on units. He needs extra hits right now. And Hellions, again, just spotting off so many SCVs, making very good use of their spent money, I guess, their life points. Viking actually manages to get a kill on the ground. Very good for him. So we continue. And, yes, indeed, Vocaloid is now actually, it's just finishing his command center. He's built a few add-ons here, which is good to see. We do have more factories coming out. So we may be seeing some heavy tech out of Vocaloid. I always like to see tech mech, rather. Oh my gosh, whatever. And the starport now sitting down here for Demuslim as well. Obviously, I guess that has been there since he has that frickin' Viking. But no new structures on that end. He's building a missile turret here, and another odd sign that it's not Demuslim. This turret is interestingly placed as well. I always do say if you're going to build a turret behind your minerals, build it on the minerals, which of course this Demuslim did here. So many people will build them all the way out here, and that just leaves more space between your turret and your SCVs or your worker line for something to come up here and harass. We do have Vocaloid mining off his natural now. It looks like he's doing a little bit of long range too, unfortunately. Missed part of that landing. And a little block going to happen here by Vocaloid. However, the tanks are going to move in and pretty much dispatch those Hellions, almost killing quite a few of them. In fact, 1 in the red, 2 or 3 in the yellow. So doing some nice damage to those fellas there. A couple more supply depots coming up for Vocaloid. I don't see anything else too fancy in his base going on at the moment. Plenty of units being produced by both guys. What the heck just blew up? Oh, he canceled an expansion. Okay. Do what you gotta do, I guess. Full saturation pretty much not on this expansion just yet. They'll get there. Both gases going up simultaneously. Obviously, Siege is researched. He's sieging up the front line. I wouldn't mind seeing some sort of wall off here. It's not something you have to do, but it's nice to see at times. And those tanks just feel so vulnerable. That's what I don't like. Need some Marines or something up there. Something to cushion the blows that the tanks would take if Vocaloid marched in here. And he is going to march in here, however, with the wrong unit and not enough of them. They get the bad end of the siege tank. A much bigger force, though, now moving out for Vocaloid. Quite a few Hellions, a few tanks with siege of his own, and a few Vikings. So we'll have to see if he can crack the nut of this Demuslim. And a third going up for Vocaloid as well in the meantime. And this has been an odd game so far, frankly. So much mech coming out, but air as well. And then, frankly, the Muslim's doing it too. He's got quite a bit of mech going on and no Marines at all. And this might be back in the days of mech. I do not remember how long ago that was, but interesting. Always enjoyable to see a different style game, that is for sure. And that siege tank got the rough day, I guess. And Vikings landing to get away from Vikings. Quite a few Hellions moving in here, starting to do some crazy work onto Muslim. Those siege tanks obviously went down, and those two siege tanks now sieging up, going to start railing on all the SCVs. So many SCVs are now completely vulnerable. The Hellions need to move in there. So many juicy bits there, and oh my gosh, wow, so many SCVs starting to go down. Oh, that was just sick. Oh, no SCVs escaped from that natural. Holy gosh. And a nice scan going down from Vocaloid to try and worry about, or to deal with these siege tanks on the high ground. Unfortunately, no siege tanks left on the low ground for Vocaloid to deal with them. And needs to try and run these Hellions away. No reason to just hand them to Muslim. And Muslim has finally successfully held that attack off. And while I was doing all that, I noticed there's a supply drop on this supply depot. That is, that's no bueno. And let yourself lose the supply depot. Burning sucks. Don't let your buildings burn. And sort of ninja armory going down here at this expansion. I'd have thrown that in my main personally, but you never know. If you lose your main, I guess you still want your armory off somewhere in the world. Another factory coming down for Vocaloid. And Demuslim at this time is very much behind in the food count, trying to make up his worker drop rate with mules. But you're going to need a lot more mules than that, and a third, because your main is very near out. And just, again, more evidence that it is not the pro Demuslim. Unless he's playing an off-race day or something. I actually don't remember what race Demuslim plays. Maybe he is playing off-race. Everybody's probably yelling at me right now. And another force coming in for Chaos Tech. And gonna cause some dangerous stuff here very soon. Did I say Chaos Tech again? It's Vocaloid. That'll happen. You'll get that sometime. And that is quite a few tanks, but they're going to be in trouble down there. They're getting sieged off very quickly, trying to do some damage. Finally take out the high ground siege tanks there, but the damage was done, I think. That is a lot of damage done on quite a few tanks. And more tanks up top doing damage as well. Vocaloid going to go ahead and pull back. That was a pretty sour attack for him, taking a lot of damage, and definitely more than he originally wanted to or thought he would. And that's what you got. You got to be careful about that high ground. You're going to lose some health by doing that stuff. So never get overconfident. Know your terrain. Know your surroundings. And what is some extra Ninja Factory sort of too? It's almost like Vocaloid is making this his secondary main. I don't mind seeing production facilities in different locations. It's just not typical. But, hey, if you feel confident, if you feel like that's something you should do, you need to do, by all means, do that. And, no, Demuslim does play Terran. That's what I thought. So, yeah. Not Demuslim. We do have a... Is that a third, or is he... Okay, that is a third. I don't know where it's at, though. There it is. So he is going to establish a third finally, even though his main is nearly dried up. Typically, you want to get a third before that gets anywhere near that circumstance. But such is the case, and, you know, we'll deal with it. Sorry, I thought my, recording software crashed for a second. It did not. We're still good. And what is going on here? Oh, a few Hellions come in there. Looks like Demuslim might even have a blue flame. Look at what is this? No, what is going on here? This is horrible. I don't even. Okay. We're gonna have a Viking on Viking attack here. A few siege tanks for Vocaloid getting utterly destroyed in the face. Gotta be careful about where you're going with that. The Vikings land to get away from the other Vikings. And Vocaloid's Vikings are going to be happy just sitting over the weird siege line that's been set up. Demuslim kind of drawing the line in the sand saying, this is my side of the map, get off of it. But, I mean, I don't know, it's just a weird setup. I've never, ever seen someone do that. At least not in a higher... Well, frankly, no. Bottom line, I've never seen anyone do that. I'm not sure what he's thinking there. But... Again, tanks moving into siege lines, there's a lot of siege tanks dying to siege tanks, and that's just disappointing to see. You never enjoy that. You want them to realize their full potential, if you will. Not sit in very map-long lines and not get your max efficiency out. A fourth being established by Demuslim, though. I do like seeing that, and Vocaloid has grabbed his own fourth as well, and looks like he might be building a command center for a fifth. And why the heck not? Especially if your main is exhausted. Go over here. Go up here. You got plenty of choices on this map. Especially with the way Demuslim's playing. It's going to be pretty easy for Vocaloid to defend and even crack the nut of Demuslim here. So, do what you got to do. And I don't think this game's going to be too much longer, to be honest. Chaos Tech, or Vocaloid rather, is quite a few food ahead, and looks like he might be going for the throat here. And this is why you don't make a siege line, because Vocaloid was able to move in, only get sieged by 1 or 2 tanks, and take out that part of the line. And he could systematically do that and just move up the line. Now, what are these Vikings going to do? They don't want to land, that's for sure. And I mean, Vocaloid's not doing it now, but again, he could systematically move up this line, take every single tank out without taking much damage. Only one tank at a time would be able to siege him, and that's what he's starting to do. So, starting to look nasty. And was that a... Ew. Okay. It looked like a chunk of person flew out of that tank. Pretty gross. A few of those are Thors. A few Thors on the field. And again, Vocaloid is just starting to work on this siege line. Unfortunately set up very badly, as I've said. And oh my gosh, those Vikings did not enjoy what they were getting. And, is that Marines in there? I don't know. It's just the Thors shooting at them. And the Thor is going to get to work. Again, the Vikings do need to pull back, land, do something. The siege line for Demuslim is just completely disintegrating at this time. Again, I cannot say it enough. Terrible, terrible thing. So many wasted tanks. This is not Masters League play by Demuslim. So I don't know who this guy is. He needs to change his name and maybe go back to Plat. And Vocaloid making very nice work of him, showing that he knows what to do. Vikings landing on siege tanks just as the siege tanks all unsieged. If it had been opposite, it might have been useful by the Vikings, but unfortunately those Vikings just get shot in the face so hard. Not even... Oh. I'm kind of done with this game, to be honest. It's been weird, and I'm not sure what to think of it. Not even completely... Yeah, there it is. Not even completely solid play out of Vocaloid, but Vocaloid played much better than Demuslim did, honestly. Just some weird decisions out of this Demuslim player. And because I got a weird fake Demuslim game, I'm going to look for a real Demuslim game to cast for you guys, whether it's this week or next Saturday. So stay tuned for that. We'll get some real Demuslim action in here. And Vocaloid was the player that sent in this game. I said that a few times. I want to thank him for sending in this game and welcome him to send me a new one, because I know he's either starting to play again or has already started to play again. So send me one of your new replays, Vocaloid. I want to cast something recent from you. Either way, guys, I am Zoronden. Please do thumbs up and subscribe so I can bring you more StarCraft 2 content. And if you want me to cast your games, you can send those to zoronden@gmail.com. That's in the information below. So go ahead and look into that. And that's going to do it for today. As I have said, I have been Zoronden. You guys are great. And I'll see you all next time.